Back from the lodging conference, and it's so great to be live with you again, Anthony. How are you?
I'm good.
Wow, overwhelming.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey everybody, welcome to the one and only No Vacancy Live. That's Anthony Melcuri. I'm Glenn Hausman. Anthony, I am so glad you're a little OCD over here and getting me to fix my
Actually,
seat.
that pillow's bothering me too because it's not like
It's not really even. All right, hold on. I know we're live on air, but you know.
So Glenn is at a hotel. He's traveling, and there's a bed. No, the other way. That's all right. And there's a bed in the background that's driving me nuts. But that's okay.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm no Sarah Dandashi, who has the most gorgeous looking beds whenever she's on air with us.
Listen, anything she puts on air is pristine. But anyway, so it's good to see you. And I have a really important question for you.
Yeah, for sure.
How often do you floss?
I try to floss as much as I can, but I don't really do it every day. I have particular trouble when I get home at night from these events. I'm so darn tired. It seems like a lot of work.
Because apparently I have a flossing problem.
Oh,
I notice myself flossing constantly.
Oh.
And I try not to floss in front of people, but sometimes I do. And I'm like, am I just flossing in front of somebody? Because I have one of those little, I won't show you, but I have one of those little things.
I got one of those little things with just the little floss in it.
And the reason I asked is because I was coming out of my car this morning, and they were like, I realized as I was walking down the street, they're all over the place. So I would imagine everybody has those little things in their pocket. But so that was the thing that was driving me nuts. I want to know how much you floss because you have beautiful teeth, and I can't eat a peanut without flossing.
I'm feeling like my teeth are highly sensitive, and I'm like, I wonder what's between them.
my dental hygienist says I have the best gums, which is good. I have good gums. But anyway, let's not talk about my hygiene or your hygiene. Let's talk about
that is what the viewers demand. So we're just trying to.
Can we talk a little bit about our podcast numbers?
Sure.
Because I have a friend of mine, I won't say who.
Yeah.
It seems like he has a little competition with us.
Right.
And when I tell him what our podcast number's on, he says I'm full of crap.
Right.
So just for August, which is a slow month, because of our great fans, because we've been doing this for 800 shows almost, because we did it during COVID when no one else was doing it, because we do it live and we do it relatively consistently, our numbers are...
I want to thank both our download people. 6 downloads last month, 3 episodes a piece. No, we hit, I think, like 96,000 audio downloads, and then I would say another 50,000 video views. Not so bad.
We're doing over 100,000 downloads a month, and we can prove it. So, my friend, take that. And the only reason I say that because he always likes to drive me because he goes, nobody's watching your videos on LinkedIn. It's like, dude, everybody listens to us on our podcast on like the way people listen to podcasts. We do the videos for ourselves, and there's a lot of people coming into this space. There's a lot of people trying to do what we do, and a lot of people doing it successfully. And there's plenty of room. Come on in. But my friend, hopefully he doesn't listen to us too often, but if he does, I got the paper to prove it, my friend. So your 15,000 downloads a month is good, and keep going.
Great. No, it's wonderful. Yeah, so yeah, like that, baby. I'm feeling a little feisty because I'm so exhausted.
You know what it is. I just want to say that because you work so damn hard to keep the relationships within the business. I don't travel anywhere near what you travel for all your contacts and what you do, and that benefits not only your business but it benefits our show. So I don't want people to think that this is easy. So if you want 100,000 downloads, which is very possible for anybody to do, you better be hitting the floor of most of these conventions like my friend Glenn does.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the good things about going to all of these events, Anthony, is that you really get to understand what is going on, right? You get the unvarnished stories, particularly when you're at the cocktail parties. All of that kind of stuff informs you on the journalism side, that deep background information you need to be able to have an understanding of, to track the trends, understand what's happening, and be able to share all of that information.
Yesterday when you were at the lodging conference, where are we as far as lending? Where last week? Where are we as far as lending?
Lending is getting a little bit tighter, but it still depends on who you are. The issue is that with interest rates continuing to climb, and I got a lot to say on interest rates, it is slowing up new property development. You add that with some of the fact that construction costs have risen. The cost of opening a property has become considerably more expensive than it was pre-pandemic. So people are starting to reevaluate what they're doing. I think, Anthony, that's causing people now to shift the strategy, if they have existing properties, to think more about buying and converting hotels as opposed to being up from the ground new. That's why we saw last week IHG announce their newest conversion brand, Garner, for example.
Yeah, and what is Garner? Because I can't keep up with all the brands.
It's a mid-scale conversion brand.
It's what, mid-scale, you said?
Yeah, conversion brand. Yeah,
right.
Maybe
and I remember, not too long ago, those brands didn't really want too many conversions, and owners didn't want too many conversions because it's expensive. But like you said, it's really difficult to find money, even if you're a person that has a proven track record, and then. Right. People want models like extended stays because the labor is so incredibly difficult. It's funny, we were talking off air. It just seems like everybody I speak to is being challenged in any business they're in. And you know me, I'm the most optimistic person you probably know. Yeah. I rarely ever complain. I never complain. No. And I'm a very blessed, grateful human, even when you're getting kicked in the what. But you have to grind. And it doesn't get easier. And in the hotel business, what do you people are saying, like, if you look at these 5-star hotels and 4-star hotels, the rates are extraordinary, right? So if you were paying $500 a night to stay, now you're paying $1,000 a night. How are we, and I'm asking you because you're on the ground, you're listening to it every day. How are we when a room is 3-4 years older and it's double the price? And where's the value? That's what I hear a lot from my friends. It's like, I don't see the value. And I just think because of the economy, because of the labor, because of the cost of goods, I just think it's like, if you want to travel and you have disposable income, you're going to have to pay these prices, and because everybody's getting hit.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And your observation is right on. And as a matter of fact, a strong demand has really been holding the hospitality industry in a good place of recovery. In fact, I do actually have a number real handy. In 2022, U.S. hotel room revenue surpassed pre-pandemic comparables, reaching $189.07 billion. This year, it's supposed to go up to $197.48 billion. And
your sound is very choppy. We didn't hear anything you just said.
All right, hold on a minute.
Now it's better.
Why don't you talk?
Now it was better. It was good until that last couple sentences.
All right, so I'll give you the numbers again. Maybe when I raise my voice too loud and get too excited. So in 2022, U.S. hotel room revenue surpassed pre-pandemic comparables, reaching $189.07 billion. And this year, Anthony, it's expected to hit $197.48 billion.
Yeah, try something different. Your sound, for some reason, when you get right in the middle of that sentence, I can't hear you. So right. In the meantime, listen, we see that TSA numbers are going up. We see that hotel numbers are going up. We see that some revenues are going up. It's not in all cities. I see some of the urban cities are coming back. New York's coming back. A couple other cities are coming back. But in general, it's just that much more expensive. I mean, look at your water bill, your tax bill, your food bill, your gas bill. And the hotels, yes, their rates are higher, but it's not like they're making money hand over fist. And I think that that's the fallacy. Some people are, and I'm sure there's some hotels out there taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right because there's a lot of pricing pressure on hotels. The expense to run a hotel has become so much more costly, particularly than other sectors. In fact, when you're looking at labor, Anthony, it's hospitality has risen in terms of salaries being paid and cost of labor much higher than any other industry out there. And while that's great for the employees who deserve a living wage, it is putting pressure on hoteliers to be able to keep hotels profitable.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just a matter of picking the right hotel and don't go on prime time. Like nobody called me. This is the first time ever no one
Right.
called me for rooms during UN in New York. It's the first time I've not gotten a call from one of my friends saying, "Hey, I'm coming in September." I was like, "Why would you come?" Somebody said to me today, "Hey, I'm going to Vegas November 14th. What should I do?" I was like, "Don't get on the plane." Right, because you can't. It's
Right.
it's not affordable because it's it's the F1 racing series. My
Yeah.
point being
Mhm.
is, we need people want to travel. People need to travel. It's expensive. What I'm seeing, like if you look at, have you noticed cars? I have so many friends that had Mercedes and Audis and expensive SUVs
Mhm.
that you're seeing them in
Right.
Kias. You're seeing we had 3 Volvos in our family. Now
Right.
we have 2 Volvos and 2 Kias because my daughter bought a Kia. And I have a friend that had a Mercedes, just bought an electric car because you're getting a $7,000 rebate. And I think
Mhm.
hers is a Kia or one of those. And everybody I know, even on my block, I'm seeing these Mercedes turn into these electric vehicles that are priced down, and you get a $7,000 rebate. So everybody's shifting.
Yeah, for sure, and that's definitely happening in the hospitality industry. And when I was at the lodging conference last week, people are concerned about some of these changes, but they also see it as an area of opportunity, right? And there's a lot of smart people out there, and when we're starting to see the convergence of technology and operations in a real meaningful way, I think hoteliers are going to be able to find how to make hotels less costly to run, which is certainly going to help maintain those rates to get people to keep traveling.
Listen, if you have a really nice product, and
Mhm.
and this is where it's going. If you have a really
Yeah.
nice product and you can figure out the technology piece, which I think everybody's going to be figuring out in the next couple of years,
Mhm.
you won't see anybody at the front desk. You will get your room key from a computer, and you won't see anybody at breakfast except maybe somebody filling up things at breakfast, maybe. And you won't see anybody clean your room because we're not going to clean your room until you check out. I think you're going to reduce labor costs in hotels in the next couple of years significantly through technology because we just can't find the labor. I just went to a hotel in Vegas, and that long line that you see, and this is a nice hotel.
Right.
And I went to the front desk. I cut the line because I just wanted my room key. I wasn't waiting an hour for get my room key fixed. My
Mhm.
room key wasn't working, and she said there's a computer on the other side that can make your room key. So I went to the other side, put my driver's license in,
Yep.
and I got my room key made. So you're going to see more and more because you have to. You're going to have to see that, and people are getting smarter. I just saw technology. I actually sent you a text about it. I won't name it or anything, but there's a technology where it looks at your food in your garbage pail. So anything you waste, you put it in this garbage pail, any food scraps. And this technology reads what's in the pail. And it tells you how much you spent for what you threw out, how many pounds of the food you threw out, and what's the cost of that.
Wow.
So there's hotels in Europe using it throughout what is it, Eurostar is
Yeah.
using it throughout all of their hotels to basically reduce waste and have no food waste by 2025, they said. So
Well, that
there
would
are,
be amazing. And if you
well,
look at generally in food waste, the FDA says about 1/3 of all food is wasted.
that's what they said in the video I watched of this
Mhm.
company. It's at 1/3, and you see it. You see it like
Mhm.
in in schools, in the New York City public schools, they're not allowed to send the food back. They throw the food out.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
go to any school in New York City at the end of the day, and you see food going to waste. So anyway, there's so many ways to save money in technology and you're seeing a lot of technology people coming into our industry, and you're seeing a lot of people leaving our industry going technology to help the industry. So I think in 3 to 5 years, you are really going to see technology take control of our industry. And we see it a little bit fits and starts, and we see it here and there, but I don't think it's anything compared to what it's going to be in the next 3 years.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to cycle up in terms of what's happening. But to go back for a minute to the overall state of the hotel industry, the industry prognosticators like STR, for example, are saying that demand is going to start to drop in the first quarter of next year, but then rebound next summer, next second quarter, third quarter, which I find really interesting. And a lot of it is people are getting back together to have meetings. And according to Nolan, the meetings business keeps increasing. Small meetings, which really power the hospitality economy, are growing in size. So there's a lot of bright spots out there too.
I'm usually, not to pat myself on the back, but I'm usually, right, everything I read, everything I see, everybody I talk to, I'm usually pretty accurate with my forecasting for the following year.
Yeah.
Almost right on. I have no idea what's going on next year because of what's going on in the world, what's going on with our economy, what's going on with interest rates, what's going on with the election. I really have no clue. All I can see is what I see from my friends that have disposable income.
Right.
Everybody I know after their big vacation this summer is cutting back. And credit card debt is an all-time high.
Yep.
Okay, people dipping into their 401k is an all-time high. So everybody went on their really nice vacation to Europe. Some people could afford it, some people couldn't afford it. And I just don't know. And again, I just don't know. And everything I'm reading and all the data, I don't know, man. I've just never had so many people that I know personally concerned for their own financial stability.
Right. I hear you. And we were talking about this a year ago as everybody traveled. Like once they get that out of their system, they're probably going to be more reluctant to spend the same kind of dollars on trips going.
Everybody I know is in Italy and Greece or Portugal this year. I'm doing the Jedi mind trick. I'm waiting till next year when nobody's going.
Yeah, exactly. That's my plan for the F1 in Vegas. I want to go in like 2 or 3 years after everyone's gotten over it.
Are we going to the F1?
Not this year.
Why not? Let's call Tony over to the Venetian. Say, come
on. Dude, there's no deals to be had.
No. Well, what do you call it? What do you call it? We'll sleep on the side of the track. No, actually, that's one place I don't want to be. I don't want to be in Vegas during F1.
I think it's going to be a little bit too much. Honestly, because we're there so much, I'd really just rather wait until they get it figured out perfectly.
I think we're there right after, right? We're there a week after.
Yeah, we're going to be going. The F1 is happening the weekend of November 17th, 18th, and then we are going to be in Vegas the week of the 27th. On the 29th, we're going to be doing the 3rd annual Nevada Hotel and Tech Association's meeting. We're going to do that Shark Tank event where you're going to be judging, and I'm going to be hosting some new and interesting products in tech and hospitality.
Yeah, it's one. I mean, I just came back. I think I was there last weekend. I was in the podcast studio for the company that runs my social media. Tamara and her team were putting together a bunch of people, and I went to the podcast studio at the Wynn. If you haven't been you've been to the podcast studio at the Wynn. With Brian,
we got to interview that. Yeah, Brian Gilbrandt's in that studio.
Tell me that's not the best podcast studio you've ever been in.
It's amazing, and I love being there. And I felt like a real TV host when I was in there. It was so cool.
Yeah, so it was the best podcast studio I've been in, and I've been in a lot of studios. And the technology they have there is fantastic.
Yeah, the guys running it were really fantastic too.
Oh, yeah, they remembered you, by the way, because I walked in. I go, no, my partner was here. I was on camera. I was on video. But
that's cool.
Listen, the good news is, not to just go all over the place here, but the good news is for the person who's traveling, right, you have so many options from extended stay to limited service to 5 stars to I'll even say Airbnb. You have so many options today that if you're an educated consumer, as they say, you can really get the place that you want to stay make sure the reviews are good, and pay what you want to pay. There are so many options there. Just don't go during UNGA or don't go during F1. But there are a lot of discounts. I was looking at the other day at rates in Vegas during the off season. You can get a nice hotel for $49 in Vegas on some weeks.
Yeah, with a resort fee charge of $400 a night.
That's correct.
All right, but however, I do think a lot more capacity is coming into the market very soon, Anthony, with the opening of the Fontainebleau on
When
December
are we going? When are we
13th.
going to Fontainebleau? When are we going to Fontainebleau?
I would like to get us invited to the opening. So,
Hey, Carmen, if you're listening to
Yeah.
us, I'm texting you as soon as this is over.
yeah, please do. Yeah, so I really want to go do that. I love going to Las Vegas casino openings. It's one of the highlights of my career. It's so much fun. And I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on other properties in Las Vegas to keep things going. Plus, where the Hawaiian Marketplace is knocked down, that's going to be a big casino resort at some point, relatively soonish, next couple of few years. That Dream project across from Mandalay, that should get restarted soon, and that'll add more capacity. So,
Yeah, what's going on with that? I just sent him a text message.
awesome. There was some financing. Issues.
So Dream is not happening right now, as far as you know.
I believe it is not fully financed. I will just stick with the verbiage that
And what's going on with the other hotels, like the Virgin? I don't really hear anything about that hotel right now. What's going on with that?
Cliff Atkinson is new president over there. He's only been there for about a month or so. He was actually doing the Fontainebleau. Then he left there, and now he's over at the Virgin. So I expect that they've been realigning their management team over there on all different levels. So hopefully we'll hear some good stuff coming from Virgin soon.
One of the things that people don't understand, the hotel industry is tough, right? But the Vegas industry is really, really tough. Even though it's busy, even though I will just say one of the major hotels that I won't name has to run 97.5% occupancy in order to break even. So their profit is after 97.5% occupancy. How insane is it?
It's shocking is what it is, particularly when the greater hospitality industry runs about 62-63%, and that's wow.
But it's a tough industry, and another thing, when you look at these people who are running these major hotels, whether it be Patrick over at Venetian, or you look at Brian over at the Wynn, or Shannon over at Resorts World, like, you have to be like, forget about a hotel manager, forget about a hotel hospitality expert. You have to be top of your game technology, top of your game financing, top of your game service. You have to be. You can literally walk out, and any one of these people can run Pepsi Cola, can run Google, can run Apple. Mm-hmm. You have to have every tool in your toolkit in order to run these hotels.
Anthony, they're multi-billion-dollar businesses, right?
These people are geniuses. Yeah, I mean, we're both fortunate to sit with these people, mm-hmm. and I sit there and I'm like, God, these people are so smart and so good at what they do. And when you look at the hospitality industry, you're like, well, they're hotel managers. No. They're the most extraordinary business people that I've ever come into play with. And that's not only them, but whether you're running hotels in New York, I mean, you have to be really in 24/7. You got to be thinking about, look what happened a couple of weeks ago now to Vegas with the cyber attack. I mean, you got to be on top of your game, and I'm sure they're going to be even going forward.
I hope that the FBI can nail the people that did this sort of thing.
Well, if they nail them, what are you going to do? You can't get them.
I don't know. It's crazy.
You're going to go to China and say, hand those people over. You're going to go to Russia, hand those people over.
I know. Right. I really don't know. It's kind of crazy.
I know you guys, you have two really smart kids. Are you doing this from your basement in Long Island?
Yeah. You think I'd still be doing that show if I had that MGM, kind of money, that Caesars money?
It's really interesting that Caesars decided to pay and MGM decided not to pay.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't say what happened behind closed doors because I certainly don't know and I'm not privy to any of that information. But I guess Caesars went through a cost risk analysis and figured it's better to just pony up now and not go the other way. MGM got hit really, really hard, and there's going to be real material effect to their bottom line. Whether or not it'll be more than the $30 million is yet to be answered, I think. But we'll see.
I played when I was in Vegas. There was one night I was working, and it was a late night. It was maybe 11 o'clock, and MGM had a small poker tournament. I think it was $100 buy-in. I said, let me go waste a couple hours. I have nothing else to do. And I couldn't go in because the system was down. So it was only cash. And I was like, I don't play cash, so I left.
Right.
So it even affected, the poker table.
Wow. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And as hotel systems continue to be more integrated and rely on technology, these are the things that we're going to have to be concerned with. But there's a lot of great, smart people out there doing amazing
I will tell
things.
you, man, Vegas is on fire. The Sphere itself is just worth the price of admission just to go watch that thing.
Dude, I can't wait to see that. I'm going to go catch that. I'm going to go catch that movie that they have over there. I hope when we're in Vegas next time.
Would they have a movie there? Tell me about that.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky, the filmmaker, made some sort of film specifically for the Sphere.
Oh, and did you two play there, or is that still is that next week?
I believe it starts this weekend.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And we're not going to any of the fun shit.
Dude, we really got to figure out how to go see U2 at this Sphere. I wonder if they're playing when we're there. Yeah, first show's on the 30th.
That's the first show, right?
It looks like it, yeah. That's coming up real soon.
Yeah. So all in all, how was the lodging conference last week? Was it a good turnout?
Lodging Conference had an amazing turnout. It was a record number that they've ever had, 2,750 people there. Harry Javer, the conference organizer, said the Tuesday night bar bill shattered all previous bar bill records. So he was very happy to see that everyone was having a good time. And I'll tell you, generally speaking, Anthony, what? I have no idea. But had to have been in the hundreds of thousands of dollars would be, my guess, the people drink, and there were almost 3,000 people there, so I'm sure they're charging more than $10 a drink, right? You have a few drinks per person. Some people have 8 or 10, some people have 2.
It's good that everybody's coming out, and listen, everybody, right now, being in the know, especially if you're building hotels and running hotels, is critical.
Yeah, it sure is. So even with all of the headwinds that are out there, as they say in industry parlance, the atmosphere was really very positive. I had a great opportunity. I got to host a general session there with Danny Hughes, president of Hilton Americas, Jay Kayafa, the COO of IHG, Greg Freeman of Peachtree Group, Sloan Dean, our friend over at Remington. Then there was Bharat Patel, the chairman of AHOA, and Susie Greinall, who runs the Hotel Association of Canada. And they all felt pretty good about the state of things right now and had a lot of positive things to say. And it's like one person's challenge is another person's opportunity.
Well, we keep it real here on our show. So I'm going to be honest with you. In those panels, and those are all really smart people, and those people are, very honest and very straightforward. Yeah. But they're not going to go up there and say, doomsday. And I don't think anybody expects doomsday. I don't think anybody expects us to have a bad year next year. We don't know. But it has nothing to do with the hotel business. It has to do with what are they going to do with interest rates? What's going to happen in our economy? Are they going to shut down our government? Are we going to go to war? There's so many things that have nothing to do with our industry that we don't have control of. But our metrics are telling us that things are pretty good? Sure. But right now, I've never seen so many things at play that can jeopardize, our economy.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the traditional things that happens every 4 years in the hospitality industry is, and I just heard it for the first time in this election cycle, people are going to hold back on making big decisions because of an uncertain political environment. And it all depends on what happens in the election next year. Now, I've heard this every single election cycle since I got into the business in 1996. But to me, this is the first time I think that it might actually have some legs.
Yeah, well, I think this election cycle is crazy because I think, not to get political, I think everybody's kind of done with who's running.
Yeah.
Nobody I talk to, not that I talk a lot about politics, but on either side of the aisle, that is like all in. Is like, yes, I believe in my candidate. You know, it's like on either side of the aisle, I think we got some serious problems. And I will say something politically that I've never seen so many politicians with zero backbone on either side of the aisle. On either side, when you have like these senators coming to the podium freezing up, or you have these senators that are being indicted, or it's like it's crazy for Cocoa Puffs. It's crazy. So I think all of us are just on both sides of the aisles are tight. So I've been asked to make your announcement for president, which I'm going to do. And so this is Glenn throwing his hat in the ring for president. He's going to run as an independent, and he's going to give out free bagels and schmears on Friday. So please be.
That's right. So as a hardcore political moderate over there, I just want to ensure that everybody from both sides hates me at the end of the day, which is why I'm going to be running in 2024.
Well, you know what? When you read, and anything you read is most people are moderate.
Just sensible.
When was the last time you walked up to somebody and they're screaming at you about their political views? Most people, when you speak to them one-on-one, you know, when you get a mouse in your hand and you become a mouse tough guy, or you become a Twitter tough guy, or, you know, that's different. When you're talking to people, most people are kind. Yes,
that is very true. Anthony, what else do you want to talk about today? Anything else on your mind?
What's on my mind is you said you had a couple things to talk about. I know we spoke about one or two of those. Anything else?
I mean, we pretty much integrated all of it into our conversation.
What do you think about Delta changing their model next year in reference to getting upgrades and changing?
I've now taken 3 flights since that announcement was made, and each time when they say, "Hey, how are you doing today?" I say to them, I was doing much better until your CEO has now decided to treat me like a dollar sign and doesn't value my business. That's how I feel about it.
And you said that to him?
Yeah, 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I forgot that you got spunk.
Not their fault. Not their fault. Look, I love every single person I deal with at Delta.
What was their response? Did anybody say anything?
They feel, they're hearing a lot of it. People are not, customers are not happy about it. I fly all the time. And the last cycle of cutbacks with the rewards that they did is they really started to punish me for buying the tickets in advance at the price they're asking, right? So if you book closer to the date, it costs twice as much. So if I'm paying $300, someone else is paying $600. That affects my ability to get status. Now, they don't care about the miles at all. It all comes down to dollars and cents. So for somebody that's booking a first class ticket last minute to LA, where I may have already booked it 3 months ago, they're going to get all the love from Delta, and I'm going to get the who are you? Why do we don't care about you?
Well,
and by the way, don't come into the Sky Lounge because you're not worth it.
Explain to people what the changes are.
All right. So generally speaking, they're doing 2 significant changes. Number 1 has to do with the basic entry to the Sky Lounge. Based on the Delta Reserve credit card that I have, I'm able to get in as frequently as I wanted. They're now changing that to only 10 times per year. So for a credit card, well, unless I spend $75,000 on the credit card in the year, right? So that is ridiculous to begin with. So you only get 10 entries. So based on the credit card fee, that's like $55 an entry if you're not counting any of the other benefits of the card, because that's one of the main reasons why I get it. Plus, I earn extra miles on all purchases for Delta. Secondly, they used to do a mix of, in order to gain frequency, they do a mix of miles and dollars spent. So you had 2 thresholds you had to meet: X amount of miles thrown in the air, and you get a certain amount of miles based on the dollars you spend per flight, combined with what status you have. So as a Platinum Medallion member, I was earning $9 per mile. And then you had to have a minimum spend on the credit card, which for me was only $25,000. Now they're getting rid of all of that. And for me to even be able to come close to the same status, I have to basically double how much I'm spending on flights next year and achieve something like $60,000 to $75,000 on top of that in credit card.
I thought if you just spend a lot of money on your credit card, you get the status now. No?
Yes, you can, but it has to be a lot of money.
Well, as a person that has diamond status, and this has been the last 2 years have been, a pleasure to work with Delta because I fly with Delta.
The service has been great.
And like the other day, I went to Vegas, and it was on my own dime, even though I was put it up for my social media company. I just used some points, and I wasn't off the phone before I was in first class.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I like. Not that the points were cheap, but I like that I got in first class, and I got in first class on home too. So, listen, that'll just make me explore other opportunities.
For sure. Yeah, Delta Rant. Yeah, so it will. And I've been having this discussion with a number of people. I got Southwest flying out.
There's nobody behind you. Are you seeing invisible people?
Yeah. So I was seeing that guy Scott from before that we were talking to before we were on air.
What were you saying, George?
Islip Airport, MacArthur Islip Airport is like 15 minutes from my house as opposed to, forever to get to the major airports. I could fly theoretically Southwest and, it won't make a difference. Just pay as I go and I'll be fine. So who knows? We'll see what happens comes 2025. I'm going to continue to enjoy the benefits that I have in this upcoming year, 2024, and we'll see how it plays out with my status and my mood come the end of 2024.
Yeah, I don't even know what my status is for 2024. I hope it's good.
I'm sure it's diamond, baby. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not diamond.
I don't know. Go check that account.
I'm glad I asked about Delta because we're both lovers of Delta, and
it breaks my heart.
I didn't read as closely as you, but it irritates me, and I honestly think that it's going to affect the service. Because I think it will affect the employees because they're going to hear a lot of it, and you're going to see a lot of people, empty first class cabins. I don't know how many people are going to be spending $3,000 to go to Vegas.
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating. All right, Anthony, let's wrap the show up unless you got anything else pressing.
How were your holidays? So all my Jewish friends, I actually listened to a ceremony because my daughter's boyfriend's a cantor, and I listened to a ceremony at the shul via Zoom, and it was the most beautiful service. So how were your Jewish holidays, my friend?
Mine was great. Last weekend before the lodging conference, we went to go see my wife's family, my family too, since we're married, but her side of the family up in Providence, Rhode Island. I love going there every year for Rosh Hashanah. It's wonderful to be with them. Providence is so much fun. And I'm here now in Asheville, North Carolina, working with the great folks over at Rains. And,
I'm sure there's a lot of Jewish people in Asheville, North Carolina.
Probably, but it's the hotel company, so they're bringing people from the whole region. They're more regionally focused because they're really about understanding the neighborhoods and communities within which they build hotels.
I'm telling you, don't be surprised if I convert.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Hey, everybody loves the Jews, right?
I do.
Right. Let's get out of here. I got to get to a lunch meeting over here. So. Everybody, why not download the show? Go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, wherever you get your shows. We are there. Of course, he's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. And if you want to watch us, if you're listening to us right now, find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc., etc., etc. All right, Anthony. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
See y'all later.
I thought
we'll be back Wednesday.